Hey yo, I'm back with another review. This is book 3 in the Earthborn Saga by Bissett, A Crucible of Titans. Look at me, I didn't even have to look at my screen to remember that full thing. Yeah. Let me go ahead and read you the summary. And a heads up, this will have spoilers for books 1 and 2, so if you are not caught up and you want to read those too, go ahead and check the links in the description or check out my other videos on it. If you don't care about spoilers and you just need extra oomph to try and read this book, here we are. Let's read that summary. Dreadnoughts, Devourers, deception. In a star field of lies, can anyone be trusted? Trapped aboard Empire's ultimate weapon, Sentinel, Rex becomes the crucial factor in the cosmic war against the Devourers. But there's a mysterious web of deceit beyond the battlefield, driven by an intense hatred of mankind. An ancient being emerges as the parasite's true puppet master. Between the Empire, Devourers, emboldened parasites, and a plethora of colonial revolutionaries, are there simply too many enemies to overcome? The mysterious Krancis, architect of the Empire's desperate gambit to survive, sends Sentinel on a collision course with the single greatest foe ever to threaten mankind. The battle to come is beyond its celestial clash of titans that could cost Rex everything he has left. Dive into this enthralling mosaic of military tactics, clandestine politics, and cosmic spirituality. Feel the universe quake under the weight of monumental choices. Here the heroes are born, villains rise, and entire galaxies crumble. Ready for the next level of space opera? Book 3 is by far my favorite book, and it is the longest so far in the series that I've read. There are 5 books in the series. I don't know if any more will be coming out, but currently there are 5, and I'm on book 3. Will I read the rest? Probably. It'll probably be a little while because I know that those books are long, and I have a few other books to get to, but we'll see. It opens up with a dogfight with Bessemer, who's a really good pilot, and he takes out a few alien spacecrafts. People are like, oh my gosh, you didn't do that. And he's like, I so did. And they're like, nah. And he's like, you don't believe me. We meet Amra, who is kidnapped, tortured, I guess, and interrogated for information on the organization she works for, which her dad, Welter, who was mentioned in the previous book, works for. She is also handicapped. She does not have legs, which makes her a sitting duck at a lot of times. And my heart just goes out to her. She's a great character. We learn a lot more about the planets and Onway, which is the group of planets. We talk about how they actually sacrificed humans to save themselves. Also, one of the best things that I find absolutely interesting about these books that I didn't get to talk about in the last ones because of spoilers is all of the alien races are all humans. Like, they are all versions and different variants of humans, and I think that is so cool. And like, the humans that are on Earth were actually like slaves, and they were put there because that was like the most severe environment and only us could like, we were the only ones that could like live on it and all that. We were scavengers, we're more sturdy, we're more all these things. It's really cool. And then they were like, oh, you were never supposed to advance to that point. We didn't expect that. We just kind of left you guys alone because we didn't want to go over there. And then we were like, oh, why can you do these things? Really cool. I love the idea. I love it so much. I was like just going off about it the other day. Hunt's powers grow. Woo! He's able to get the Omega working. Woo! It's renamed to the Sentinel. Woo! I didn't catch that until like towards the end, and I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. I was like, why are they calling the Omega Sentinel? I guess they renamed it or something, and then towards the end I was like, okay, they did rename it, got it. Lily's condition worsens to a point where she has to be hospitalized, and they're like, oh, you have this disease that will kill you. She's like, yeah, no, I know, I have a few years left. Also, we get to know a lot about Krancis. His motives, he's just such a strange character, not like a bad way, in more of an interesting way, like a, huh, okay. You don't really know his motives. Yeah, that's it. You don't really know his motives. I mean, you kind of, but you don't know how much to trust him. I don't know. Anyway, the original crew is here, and oh, sorry, I'm thinking about the end because it was such a good ending, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, my heart. Oh, such a good ending to that book, and I really want to see what happens next. Oh, such a good ending. There's a bunch of political things happening, moving, shifting, all that. We get a bunch more lore and just building upon the lore that we've already known, which is really, really cool. Another way that Bissett keeps us in the loop of the history and keeps us reminded of these things is he does remind us of these things. It doesn't feel like it's repetitive at all. It's just conversations between the characters. And by the way, I believe every conversation in this book is so much more realistic than the past 2 books, and I am so happy about that. A bunch of these lines this time had me cracking up. I highlighted so much. Well, I highlighted I think more in the first and second, but I think I was enjoying the third one more, so I didn't really highlight as much. Some of the last few lines we see of Amra, oh my gosh, so good, and I didn't get to highlight them, but they were so good. I was like, bars. Like, there were a few that I was like, bars. It was great. It was amazing. I think something Bissett is very, very good at is putting characters in a place that we don't really understand, that they don't really understand, that he does. I don't know if that makes any sense, but it makes sense to me. Like, there is a woman and her kid running through the forest as these Devourers are attacking their planet, a planet that the Omega/Sentinel just got to, and they're running, and they can't find their group that they were supposed to leave with, and so they're like, okay, we're supposed to go this way, and they run into this man. He's like, hey, I will take you to my little hideout so that you will be safe. Don't know how long you'll be there, but I can protect you. I can keep you there. And he talks about the spirit of the forest, taking care of him, protecting him, and all that. And they stay the night, they stay there. I was like, please, 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 please be a nice guy. Please don't let this be the Lovely Bones all over again. It wasn't. He was nice. I know this is a spoiler, but it's not a big spoiler, unless deep later it is, but it's not as of now. And they're there, I think, one night, because the next morning, Sentinel/the Omega shows up and turns the tides, and that planet is safe now, and she comes out. She's like, yay, they only stay there a night. I think it was a night. And then she thanks the man, and something happens, and he tells her to come visit, and he's gone. He like disappears, like he's the spirit. And oh my gosh, I think that's one of my favorite moments from this book. I also love the sweet stuff with Lily and Hunt in the beginning. You don't get much of it throughout the rest of it because he's away on the Omega/Sentinel, because Krancis is like, I need leverage, I need assurance that you will not sabotage anything. So she goes through all of her stuff, and I really want to see her healed. I really, really enjoy her character. Also, we meet McGammon? I think we meet her in this book. If not, we meet her in the last. Krancis forced her hand and made her remove everyone from the front lines to go protect the Omega. I believe that was the last book. And he threatened her family if she didn't. There was a mutiny that started working itself up to her, and they planned on overthrowing her. And then she had to deliver the orders that, by Krancis's order, they were going to do the same thing to all their families if they don't comply. And so her career went down the toilet with that. And I really enjoyed seeing her and Lily become friends, especially toward the end, where McGammon definitely needed a friend, and Lily became her only friend. All in all, this series is absolutely amazing. Absolutely worth reading it. They are thick books, but I love them, absolutely. This isn't something that I would have seen myself picking up and just being like, yeah, okay, I'll read this, but I am so glad I did. I love these books. I really can't wait to read the next ones. And I hope that I've convinced you to read them too, because I would love to see these books just get better and better, because that's all they've been doing for me, is getting getting exponentially better. That's the word I was looking for. That's the end of that review. And that is the third book in the Earthborn saga. I hope I have convinced you to read it. Link is below in the description along with the description. And thank you for watching.